Kelnuts is here to teach you the English language slang. The first word we're gonna learn is dope or sick. Okay. So, do you know what this means? Do you have any idea?
Dope? Dope is like cool.
Okay.
Like, oh my god, it's so cool. Sick is also cool.
But yeah, it means, like I said, it means awesome, cool, great, or fantastic. Okay. What about this word? What does this mean?
It is also awesome. Like something like cool.
Okay, you're right.
No?
It is.
Okay.
However,
nice.
It can also be used to refer to somebody who is drunk, hype, or like messed up on like something similar to alcohol. So you could say like, we're gonna get lit, which means we're gonna get like drunk tonight, or we're gonna get hype, or that sort of thing. Yeah.
Let's go crazy tonight.
Yeah.
Hype.
Or you can be like, oh, that's lit, which means like that's dope. You know, that's awesome. That's cool. Okay, what about this word? What does this mean?
Fire.
Okay, fire is also another way to say something is awesome or cool. Yes.
Oh, it's fire.
Yeah. You'd be like, that's fire, which means like that's awesome or that's cool. It's normally when something is like really awesome or like really cool. So awesome is not does not suffice enough. You know? Something is so cool that it's like burning, you know? It's kind of like the word lit. Like it's fire lit. You can kind of use them interchangeably. But you can't say we're gonna get fired tonight when you're talking about clubbing. That doesn't really work. So it's only really pertains. Most of the time people use the word fire for a lot of times when it's pertaining to music, art, or design related things. So like if a song is really good, you can say, oh, that song is fire. Or yeah, or if like someone's outfit looks really cool, you could say, oh, that outfit's fire. So I can refer to fashion. Yeah. Okay, now we have another one. Do you know what this means? Bruh.
Okay. Bruh.
It can refer to someone as bro, which is used less common. So the only person in EN that uses bruh to refer to people as bro is probably me. But most of the time, people will say it when they want to describe or when something is off-putting. Yeah. So like, let's say you're in a game, right? I'm in a game with you and we're on the same team, but you kill me in the game. I'll be like, bruh. Because I'll be like, yeah. So it's kind of like, what the fuck? Or
showing like disappointment?
It can be, yeah, it can be disappointment. It can be, it's mostly just when something is like off-putting in some way. It's mainly used when something is like off-putting or like someone did you wrong. It's very versatile. It's quite hard to explain the way you can do it, but yeah. You can also be like when you're like amazed too or confused. Like it can be used a lot of ways. But the most common way is when something is off-putting. So yeah, like, it also can be like saying the word dude too, as Lucas said. Have you ever heard someone say the pot calling the kettle black before? So basically, let's say you were late to your stream. Like, let's say we had a collab in like a week, right? And you were late to the stream, right? And then I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're late. You could say, well, if it isn't the pot calling the kettle black, which basically means like, you were late too. Like, why are you calling me out for it? It's a phrase that someone says to allude to either calling you a hypocrite or being hypocritical in a moment. Here's another one. I say this a lot. I don't think as many other people in EN say it, but it's a thing I frequently say. So it is the word no shot, or like the phrase no shot. It means no way.
No way?
Yeah.
No shot?
Yeah. No shot, no way. Yep.
No, what? Is that the same meaning? Like, no way.
Yeah, like exactly the same. Someone could be like, yesterday, I hit my dog with my car. And I'd be like, no shot? Like, no way?
Is it like pretty universal way? Or like, is it just US thing?
I don't think this is common outside of the US. Unless So yeah, but it is pretty much irreplaceable, or like pretty much always replaceable with the phrase no way. Next term, it's down bad or thirsty. Down bad means when you are being lustful for something or someone. Let's say you're really hungry and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm down bad for some food right now, which means like you really need it, or like you really want it.
Oh, like when it comes to food, like when I think I will say like, oh, I'm craving for McDonald's, or I'm craving for this food.
Yeah, that's more of a proper way of explaining it. But more recently, people have been using down bad for like when you're unable to resist something. Yeah.
Okay.
I use down abysmal sometimes. Yes.
Right.
Whenever I really want to emphasize how down bad someone or I am, I'll be like, you're not down abysmal or down bad, you're down abysmal, to like really emphasize. Okay, there's a phrase I'm gonna teach you that you might hear a lot, and its use is very interesting. So do you know what the term on main means? For example, online specifically is normally when it's used. Let's say you have like two Twitters, one that's like public and one that's more private between your friends. People, if you said something that was like very out of pocket, oh my god, I need to explain what out of pocket means. If you said something that was very very like bold or out there, or like not something most people would proudly say in public, that's why people will be like, oh my gosh, on main, you know, which will be like you said this in front of people, you know, or like you said this where other people could see it. So it's kind of like yeah, it's more of like a in public, you know, with like a question mark at the end, you know. It's mostly used on social media.
Okay.
Yeah, it's normally used like to question someone saying something publicly. So you could be like, oh my gosh, you said that on main, or like you said that in public, or like, oh, you said like on main question mark, which means like you said this proudly in front of everyone, you know. So the term out of pocket,
yeah, you said it earlier.
Yeah, it essentially means when you say something that is like very bold, or very like not appropriate given the context. Yeah, like it can be bold, it can be rude, or it can be like outrageous.
Okay.
Or like it can mean like unhinged too. You said, for example, you were like, oh my gosh, Kyo is so short and ugly, right? I could be like, oh my gosh, Meliko, that's so out of pocket, which means that's so bold or outrageous, or like that's so out of left field. Not like appropriate given the context. There are definitely some native English speakers who don't really know what out of pocket means. So,
really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, but some people said, oh, it's very old, like slang. So I thought,
yeah, it's not new. It's not new. It's just used in like certain circles or like communities more than others. Crash. It means like directly translated, it means like you like run into something. But for slang, it's like when you like fall asleep, essentially.
What?
Yeah. So you can be like, I crashed on the couch, which means like I fell asleep on the couch. Yeah, so mid is basically
short version of middle.
Yeah, it's basically means mediocre or average.
Mediocre.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So if you could be like, for example, it's most commonly used when referring to someone's opinions about like something. So let's say you're like, oh, how did you like the food at this restaurant? Someone would be like, oh, it's mid, which means like, oh, it's okay. It's average.
It's okay.
It's nothing special, you know?
Okay.
So it's not like bad or good. It's just kind of like average.
Okay.
But a lot of the times people, for some reason, take this as more of an insult than if you were to say something was below average.
Just commenting something.
Yeah.
And if you feel like, oh, it's an okay quality, then you can say, oh, it's mid.
Well, okay, mid is more negative than like okay. So if something's okay, I would rather just say okay. There is like a very negative connotation with the word mid, which means like people associate it with more negative phrase than what it actually means. People consider it more insulting than if you were to say mediocre. So it's like a little worse than okay is the best way I can describe it.
My god, like there are some Japanese people and like, oh my god, that's pretty educational. And like, oh, does it mean this and this? And like, yeah, they're educated too by Kyonat sensei, Kyonat's teacher. Thank you so much.
Hey, yeah, I'm glad I'm
Kaneko.
assisting you with the world of English slang. I want you to know. Like and subscribe, because I'm shilling corporate greed too, and I'm doing everything I just talked about, motherfucker.